Heavy sandbag lifting and high-rep bodyweight calisthenics, the heavy object and the self. Two opposite extremes come together to create the ultimate hybrid athlete. There are an infinite number of ways you can train your body, endless combinations of different training styles and tools you might use to change yourself. Barbells, machines, kettlebells, calisthenic skills, maces and clubs, it all works, of course. The question is, what do you want? What do you hope to achieve with your training? I can tell you for myself, the ultimate goal is and always has been building usable muscle. I think that sums it up nicely. I want to get jacked and yoked like a strongman bodybuilder while also having a body that functions well in all fields. I'd want to be massive while also being able to run mountains and climb boulders. I want to be lean and aesthetic while having the capacity to carry lumber and build houses, to lift my friends to safety and to fight off attackers. I want the freedom to interact with this world in whatever way I see fit without ever being held back by weakness. Lifting the object is not enough if I get winded climbing stairs and hiking trails. Scaling the cliff face is not enough if I cannot lift the stone in my backyard. I want a body capable of thriving in all environments, and I want to look frickin' awesome while doing it. That's what I want, and I could tell you I've tried just about everything there is to get there. My formative training years were spent in the search, and while I made bits of progress here and there with most of what I tried, nothing ever felt quite right. It wasn't until I discovered the unique combination that is heavy sandbag lifting and high-rep bodyweight calisthenics that I knew my goals were actually possible. It was like I finally found the path I was meant to walk and was finally able to begin walking it. It's been years now, and the combination has given me everything I ever wanted and so much more. I was able to build that lean and muscular body capable of doing cool things, and I also found that I really just enjoy lifting heavy sandbags and repping out endless bodyweight reps. I've earned the usable muscle while also finding a sport that gives my life that extra layer of purpose, something to look forward to each day. During my time with this training style, I've had the opportunity not only to train myself, but to talk with thousands of you here on YouTube about your experiences, and also to work one-on-one with many lifters at all stages too, beginner to advanced. And through it all, I have gained a unique perspective on this stuff. I definitely do not know everything there is to know about all forms of exercise, but when it comes to the highly specialized training style that is heavy sandbag lifting paired with high-rep bodyweight calisthenics, I don't think you're likely to find anyone who has ever dived quite so deep. At this point, I have a pretty good idea of what works best as well as what doesn't. I've created a few programs centered around the training style, each based on specific goals, all free here on YouTube, by the way. For those who want muscle, maximum power, and the ability to shoulder the heaviest sandbags possible, I made you the Sandbag Hypertrophy program. For those who also want muscle, extreme strength endurance, and the grit to keep going when others would give up, I made the Sandbag Intensity program. And for those who want muscle again, ridiculous power endurance, and the ability to throw sandbags around like a warrior on the battlefield or a wrestler on the mat, unbothered by the burdens of fatigue, I created my third program, which is set to come out in a couple weeks. Here, I will announce for the first time that it is called Sandbag Berserker. Trust me when I say it's as badass as it sounds. Each of these uses heavy sandbag lifting and high-rep bodyweight calisthenics to unlock something special. Each one is a unique trail branching off from the main path, there for you to follow as you so choose. I have also created multiple beginner programs for anyone new to this training style, and they worked. They did their job. But I'll admit they were never quite as perfect and airtight as my main programs. I was happy with them, I still am, but the more I learned as time went by, the more I came to see the flaws in my earlier reasoning. Well, it's time to address those. It took a great deal of trial and error, but finally today, I am proud to say I believe I have done it. I have finally created the ultimate program for anyone new to this stuff, Sandbag Foundation. That's what I want to share with you today. The Sandbag Foundation program is made up of two phases, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Both are part of a complete introductory system designed to take you from complete beginner with this training style to strong and ready for my more advanced and specialized programs. Let's begin with Phase 1. This phase requires a single sandbag, some kind of sturdy object you can sit on, more on that soon, the ground, and that's it. The sandbag doesn't need to be particularly heavy. You'll want something in the 75 to 100 pound range to start, so a homemade sandbag works well here. You can easily make one with some kind of canvas bag from a thrift store, a backpack, or whatever you have lying around, some trash bags, and whatever material you have on hand. Play sand from the hardware store is best and is what you'll want to use long term, but when you're first starting out, anything will do. My first sandbag was filled with landscaping rocks I found in my yard. If you want something high quality from the start, my favorite sandbag brands are Freedom Strength for fixed weight bags and Iron Mind for adjustable bags. Freedom Strength is the best sandbag on the market in my opinion. The only downside for this particular phase of the program is you'll be starting pretty light and you will likely outgrow this starting weight after some time and need to buy another. If you want to get Freedom Strength from the start, I'd recommend buying something in the 150 to 200 pound range, filling it to roughly 75 to 100 pounds, then twisting off the top and adding some duct tape. That's not how they're intended to be used, of course, and with explosive movements it likely wouldn't work so well with repeated use, but in this phase of the program it shouldn't be an issue. Phase 1 follows a 3 days per week training split, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you'd like, and each workout can be completed in roughly 45 minutes. It follows an ABA, BAB rotation, meaning in week 1, you will complete workout A on Monday, workout B on Wednesday, and workout A again on Friday, and in week 2, you'll complete workout B on Monday, workout A on Wednesday, and workout B again on Friday, then you'll repeat the cycle. It is made up of 3 different sandbag exercises, the bear hug carry, the shoulder carry, and the box squat, and 2 calisthenics exercises, a horizontal push-up and a vertical push-up. Each exercise will be completed using a timed density set, which I believe is the most effective way for building sandbag strength at all experience levels. Density is also easily scalable to each individual person, which makes it the perfect fit for this introductory program. Each workout follows this structure: 1 20-minute sandbag carry, 2 10-minute sandbag box squat, 3 5-minute horizontal push-up, and 4 5-minute vertical push-up. Let's begin with workout A. After taking some time to warm up, I will have a link to a full warm-up video I made in the description if you want to check it out. For your first exercise, you'll set a timer for 20 minutes and perform the bear hug carry for max distance. To do the bear hug carry, simply lift a sandbag from the ground to your lap, then from your lap to your chest, and start walking. It's a very simple exercise, though it is very challenging. Start carrying the sandbag around your training space and keep going until you reach something like a 6 or 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty, 10 being a set taken to absolute failure where you end up face down on the ground trying to catch your breath, then drop the sandbag. You don't need to be perfect here, just push yourself relatively far without pushing all the way to your limit. I recommend choosing a carry distance that is easily trackable, say 2 laps around your workout space or something like that. After you drop the sandbag, let the timer continue running, take as long as you need to catch your breath, then pick the sandbag up again, do another carry, the same distance as your first if you can, drop the sandbag again, and continue in this way for the full 20 minutes. In your first couple workouts, it is okay to simply push yourself without tracking anything, but once you have a feel for how the workout goes, you will want to start keeping track of your records to make sure progress is happening. The easiest way to do this is with a pen and paper. Each time you complete a carry, make a tally mark on your paper. To progress each workout, simply try to get one more tally mark than you did last time. In this way, it is okay if your first couple workouts feel a bit easy. Given time, as you increase the number of tally marks, the challenge is inevitable. Exercise 2 is the sandbag box squat. Now for this, you'll want to find a box that lets you squat down to a roughly parallel position at the bottom of the rep, meaning when you're seated on the box, you'll want your thighs to be roughly parallel with the ground. Another way to gauge this, the crease of your hips should be at roughly the same height as the tops of your knees. A plyo box works well for this. A chair or bench works too, assuming you're able to squat low enough. Just make sure the box is sturdy and won't break on you. For this set, start a timer for 10 minutes, lift your sandbag and sit onto the box, then begin performing box squats. To do the box squat, hold the sandbag against your body and stand up. That's it. It's probably the most basic sandbag exercise of all. You sit and you stand while holding a sandbag in your hands. Perform as many reps as you can in those 10 minutes, and every workout, try to do at least 1 extra rep. 30 reps workout 1, 31 reps workout 2, and so on. Note, you can rest on the box with the sandbag on your lap, or you can drop the sandbag to the ground whenever you need to rest. Take as much rest as you need. Just know that if you do drop the sandbag, you will have to pick it back up again. In time, I would recommend working towards doing the full 10-minute set without ever dropping the sandbag. Exercise 3 is the horizontal push-up. Now, what you choose here will depend on your current strength level, but you can think of these as essentially being just basic push-ups. The easiest variation would be push-ups done on your knees with your hands elevated on some kind of elevated surface. The box you used for your box squats might work for this. Moving up in difficulty, there are knee push-ups done on the ground, then standard push-ups, and from there you have a few different options you can choose from. You could do diamond push-ups, increased range of motion push-ups, feet elevated push-ups, feet elevated diamond or increased range of motion push-ups. They all work. For this part of the workout, start your timer for 5 minutes and begin doing full range of motion reps with your chosen variation. Continue trying to do at least one extra rep every workout until you complete 100 reps in 5 minutes, then move up to the next variation and work back up to 100 again. Finally, exercise 4 is vertical push-ups, again done for max reps in 5 minutes. Vertical push-ups are the body weight training equivalent of pressing something overhead. They are usually called pike push-ups. The easiest variation I have found with these is bent knee pike push-ups with your hands on some kind of elevated surface. After that, there is bent knee pike push-ups done on the ground, then standard pike push-ups done with straight legs, and from there you can increase the range of motion, elevate your feet, or both, and eventually you can move to wall-assisted handstand push-ups. These will be done in the same way as the horizontal push-ups. Work up to 100 reps in 5 minutes with your chosen variation, then move to the next hardest variation and continue on. Now for Sandbag Foundation, Phase 1, Workout B. This workout is exactly the same as Workout A in every way aside from the first exercise. Rather than bear hug carries, you will perform shoulder carries. To do the shoulder carry, lift your sandbag to one shoulder and hold onto it with both hands and start walking. You won't need to worry much about technique or anything advanced here yet, though the sandbag to shoulder can become very technical later on. With the weight you'll be using here, it's really just a matter of brute forcing the thing up onto your shoulder. This is why we use shoulder carries rather than the basic sandbag to shoulder in this program. At this weight level, you will get far more out of carries than you would from easily throwing the sandbag to your shoulder over and over. For this exercise, start your timer for 20 minutes, carry the sandbag until you reach that 6 or 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty, just like you did with the bear hug carry. Drop the sandbag, rest, then perform your second carry with the sandbag on your other shoulder. Drop the sandbag again, and repeat. Alternate back and forth between shoulders each carry for the entire 20 minutes, making tally marks as you go, and try to get one extra tally mark per shoulder each workout. Note, make sure to carry the sandbag an equal distance on each shoulder, even if doing so means ending your set slightly above or below that 20-minute mark. After shoulder carries, perform the rest of the workout the same way you did in Workout A, 10 minutes of box squats, 5 minutes of horizontal push-ups, and 5 minutes of vertical push-ups. Use the same push-up variations in this workout as you did in Workout A. That's it for Workout B. Now, you may be wondering, when do I add weight to my sandbag? Simple. This program uses the box squat as a guide. Once you manage to complete a set of 100 box squats in 10 minutes with your current weight, making sure each of those reps is done with a full range of motion and a brief pause at the top to show control, add 10 pounds to your sandbag and start over. Once you add weight, you will of course need to restart progression for your carries too. Just remember, even though the program is guided by the box squats, much of your box squat strength will come as a result of improved performance with your carries, so don't neglect them. That's the entire Sandbag Foundation Phase 1 program. It's basic, but it does its job well. It will condition you to heavy sandbag lifting and high rep bodyweight calisthenics, so you'll be prepared for what comes next. You can continue on with Phase 1 for as long as you'd like. There is no required set endpoint here. If you're enjoying yourself and making gains, you can continue with this phase for a full year if you want. That's the beauty of density training and timed sets. They are essentially infinitely scalable. That said, if you want to follow the program as intended, move to Phase 2 once you're able to complete 100 box squat reps in 10 minutes with a sandbag weighing 125 pounds. Alright, time for Phase 2. Like phase 1, this phase can be run with a single sandbag. Just know you will likely be moving out of the range where homemade sandbags are effective, at least from my experience. Typically, homemade bags become a lot less reasonable once you pass that 125-pound mark, so this might be a good time to get that Freedom Strength bag if you haven't already. If you worked up to 125 pounds in phase 1, consider jumping directly to 150 pounds for phase 2. A 150-pound sandbag will be usable forever, by the way, even as you start lifting heavier weights, so you don't need to worry about buying a sandbag you'll eventually outgrow. This program introduces a bit more calisthenics work, so in addition to a heavier sandbag, you'll also want something you can use for bodyweight rows. Gymnastics rings are my preferred option here, and they will come in handy for other parts of the program too. I would also recommend getting an ab wheel. You can get one for less than $20, and in my opinion, it is the ultimate way to train the abs, and it fits in very well with the specific kind of calisthenics training we'll be doing in this phase. A pair of light resistance bands will come in handy for conditioning your biceps to the demands of heavy sandbag lifting too. If you watched that warm-up video I mentioned earlier, there's a good chance you've already bought a pair for your warm-ups, but if you haven't yet, now would be a good time to do so. Finally, we are going to introduce some neck training, so getting a head harness will be ideal long term. I'm a big fan of the MMB model neck flex myself. I've used mine for something like 7 years now and it's still working great. Though to start, you can just use manual resistance with a towel if you don't want to buy anything yet. I'll show you how to do that later. Phase 2 moves on from the 3-day per week split of phase 1 and instead follows a 4-day per week split, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday if you'd like. Each workout should take roughly 45 minutes to an hour to complete. There will be 2 sandbag days, Sandbag Workout A and Sandbag Workout B, and 2 calisthenics days, Calisthenics Workout A and Calisthenics Workout B. Here's an example setup. Monday, Sandbag Workout A, Tuesday, Calisthenics Workout A, Thursday, Sandbag Workout B, Friday, Calisthenics Workout B. Feel free to move those to any days of the week. Just be sure to stick with that structure, 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 2 off, repeat. Phase 2 is made up of 5 different sandbag exercises. We have the bear hug carry, shoulder carry, and box squat, same as in phase 1, and we'll also add the sandbag lean and the sandbag row. This program also includes much more calisthenics work and switches from basic single exercise density sets to a more advanced circuit style of training, which is a training method that I still use myself even after all these years. I believe it is the ultimate path to long-term high-rep bodyweight calisthenics mastery. The exercises included in this phase will be both overhand and underhand bodyweight rows, standard push-ups, diamond push-ups, decline push-ups, bent knee pike push-ups, and ab wheel rollouts if you have an ab wheel, or hanging leg raises if you don't. We will also include a bit of isolation work here. This is where those gymnastics rings will come in handy. The exercises are bicep curls, tricep extensions, and face pulls. Finally, for the neck, there will be neck curls and neck extensions. Let's begin with Sandbag Workout A. The overall structure is as follows. 1. Sandbag lean for 3 sets. 2. Sandbag shoulder carries for max distance in 10 minutes. 3. Sandbag box squats for max reps in 10 minutes. 4. Neck curls for 3 sets. 5. Neck extensions for 3 sets. First up, we have a new exercise, the sandbag lean. This is a very underrated, though highly valuable movement that will condition your body to positions that will eventually become mandatory as you begin working with heavier sandbags. The lean isn't inherently dangerous or anything, but it is something that must be trained directly in an intelligent way, which is what we're doing here in phase 2. To perform the sandbag lean, lift your sandbag from the ground to your lap, then from your lap to your chest, like you would when doing a bear hug carry. Once there, hold the sandbag in place, keep your core braced, and lean back as far as you comfortably can. The lean can be subtle at first. There's no need to rush ahead, going for a full-on limbo-style lean straight away or anything like that. A slight lean is enough to start. Be sure to lean at your hips when you do this, rather than by arching your lower back. Focus on flexing your glutes and driving them forward. That's a good way to get it right. Lean back and hold the position for roughly 5 seconds. After those 5 seconds are up, move back to an upright position and hold that for 2 to 3 seconds. Then lean back again for another 5 seconds and repeat the process for a total of 3 leans, then drop your sandbag. This is all considered one set, as in each set you will perform 3 different leans of roughly 5 seconds each. Rest for 60 to 90 seconds until you feel ready, then perform another set of 3 5-second leans. Do this for 3 total sets. Here is where the resistance bands come in. During your rest times between leans, rather than just standing around, I recommend pumping out some fast curls in each of the 3 different positions: underhand, neutral, and overhand. Don't worry about counting or anything like that. Just use this opportunity to pump some extra blood into your biceps. After that, it's back to familiar territory again. Exercise 2 is sandbag shoulder carries for max distance in 10 minutes. Like you did in phase 1, simply start your timer and start walking, making sure to carry the sandbag an equal distance on each shoulder. The main difference here is this set will only last 10 minutes rather than 20 like in phase 1. Exercise 3 is familiar territory again, sandbag box squats for max reps in 10 minutes. This will be done in exactly the same way as in phase 1. Exercises 4 and 5, neck curls and neck extensions, are to be done back to back as a superset. You will perform a set of neck curls, then go directly into neck extensions, rest a couple seconds if needed, then go back to neck curls again, and continue on until you have completed 3 sets of each. The exact number of reps you do will depend on your experience level. If you haven't ever done any neck training before, start with just your own body weight and do 3 sets of as many reps as you can. To do this, lay on your sandbag and either flex your neck for neck curls or extend it for neck extensions. Stay controlled and go through as big a range of motion as you comfortably can. Over time, try to work up to 3 sets of 25 reps for each exercise. Once you manage that, you will stay at 3 sets of 25 and begin adding resistance with a towel. To do that, hold a towel with both hands and drape it either over your forehead for curls or across the back of your head for extensions, and apply as much resistance as you need to make those sets of 25 reps challenging. You can continue in this way for a very long time, though eventually I would recommend getting a head harness for your neck training. Again, I personally prefer the neck flex myself, but there are some good options out there. Just avoid getting a really cheap one if you can. The money you save there is not worth the potential injury that can come from a harness breaking on you mid-set. Continue going with 3 sets of 25, increasing resistance over time as you become stronger. Now let's cover Sandbag Workout B. I know the next workout in the week is technically a calisthenics workout, but for the sake of explaining everything, it will be easier to keep these together for now. Sandbag Workout B follows this structure: 1. Sandbag leans for 3 sets, 2. Sandbag rows for 10 sets, 3. Sandbag bear hug carries for max distance in 10 minutes, 4. Neck curls for 3 sets, 5. Neck extensions for 3 sets. Exercise 1 is exactly the same as in Sandbag Workout A. Perform 3 sets of sandbag leans, each set being made up of 3 leans of roughly 5 seconds each. Be sure to do your resistance band curls between sets. Exercise 2 is sandbag rows, and here is the only exception to density training in the program. While timed sets are very effective almost all of the time, sandbag rows are such an intense and demanding exercise, forcing you to work in the most challenging bent over position. I don't like using timed sets with them. I have recommended it in the past, and it can work, but I found sticking with a high sets, low reps approach works better long term. You will start with 10 sets of 1 rep each, with 45 to 60 seconds rest between each set. The goal will be adding reps to your sets as often as you can. There are some advanced techniques we could apply here to accomplish this, but I prefer using a more intuitive and individual approach. Start with 10 sets of 1 in workout 1, then in workout 2, do as many sets of 2 as you can. That could be all 10 sets, or it could be just one of those sets. Either way is okay. Just make sure you're getting at least 1 extra rep each workout. Continue on in this way, adding reps as you're able. 10 sets of 1 eventually becomes 10 sets of 2, then 10 sets of 2 becomes 10 sets of 3, and so on. Starting with just single reps might not seem like enough to start, but the volume will increase significantly as you get stronger, and a little can go a long way with these. Sandbag rows as an exercise are very basic, though they will take some getting used to. You'll want to think of them as being similar to pendlay rows like you might do with a barbell. You try to maintain a bent over torso position and lift with the combined effort of your legs and your back and arms together, making each rep as powerful as you can. The main thing I recommend here is to focus on your brace. Always do everything you can to brace your core as hard as you can, and the rows will fall into place. Exercise 3 is back to something familiar again, sandbag bear hug carries for max distance in 10 minutes. Nothing new to see here. Finally, exercises 4 and 5 are the same as in Sandbag Workout A. Perform 3 sets each of neck curls and neck extensions as the superset. And that's it for Sandbag Workout B. Final thing for the sandbag part of the program, I would continue progressing in the same way you did during phase 1. Once you manage 100 box squats in 10 minutes, add weight. If you're using an adjustable sandbag, I recommend continuing to add just 10 pounds each time, but if you've started using fixed weight sandbags, it is okay to jump all the way to the next size up, which is usually 25 pounds heavier. For example, if you started phase 2 with a fixed weight 150 pound sandbag, once you manage to take it for a set of 100 box squats in 10 minutes, move up to a 175 pound sandbag. This would also be a good time to move to a new program, but I'll talk more about that later. Don't worry if it feels like you're leaving the lighter sandbag behind or something like that. Though this program is run with just one sandbag at a time, other programs will make use of every weight you have. Alright, time for Calisthenics Workout A. The workout is structured in this way. 1. Calisthenics Circuit A for max rounds in 20 to 25 minutes. 2. Face pulls for max reps in 5 minutes. 3. Curls and extensions for max reps in 10 minutes. Here we introduce something entirely new, the calisthenics circuit. Now, I have made tons of videos on these before, and if you want a deeper dive into why they're so effective, I'll have a video for you to check out in the description, but today I'll just give you the basics. Circuit A, which is the circuit used in Calisthenics Workout A, is made up of overhand rows, diamond push-ups, ab wheel rollouts, or hanging leg raises if you don't have an ab wheel, and decline push-ups. You will begin with a 3-2-1 ladder rep scheme, which means you will perform 3 rows, then 3 diamonds, then 3 rollouts, and 3 decline push-ups. Then you will do 2 of each, then 1 of each. All of that together is considered 1 round. To do the workout, simply start a stopwatch and complete as many rounds as you can in the 20 to 25 minute range. Stop the workout when it would be unrealistic to complete an additional round without going over 25 minutes. For example, if you complete 5 rounds in 23 minutes, rather than going for another round, stop there for the day. Once you've completed that first workout, your goal will be coming in every workout and completing the same number of rounds just a little bit faster until you manage to do them in under 20 minutes, at which point you'll add an additional round and start over. For example, 5 rounds in 23 minutes workout 1, 5 rounds in 22 minutes and 40 seconds workout 2, 5 rounds in 20 minutes and 10 seconds workout 8, 5 rounds in 19 minutes and 55 seconds workout 9. There, you finish the rounds in under 20 minutes, so it's time to add another round. So next is 6 rounds in 22 minutes and workout 10, and so on. Your long-term goal will be working towards completing the circuit for 13 rounds in under 25 minutes. Once you manage that, you will switch from a 3-2-1 ladder to a 5-3-2 ladder and continue on. 5-3-2 uses the same idea as 3-2-1. You just do 5 reps of each exercise, then 3, then 2, rather than 3-2-1. Your goal at this point will be again working up to 13 rounds in under 25 minutes. This represents a real long-term goal, and don't feel like you need to rush ahead to achieve it. Once you do manage it though, you are likely ready for something more advanced. The progression continues in Sandbag Berserker. I'll have everything outlined there if you want to check it out. After the circuit, we have face pulls for max reps in 5 minutes. The general idea here is pumping blood into the rear delts. The exact form you use isn't too important, but if you're using rings, I like to pull the rings so I end in somewhat of a W position at the end of the rep, with my hands in line with my head, palms facing forward. For this exercise, do as many reps as you can in 5 minutes, and when you reach 100 reps in that time, increase the difficulty by changing the positioning of your body so you become more parallel with the floor and work towards 100 again. The final part of the workout is a superset of curls and extensions done for max reps in 10 minutes. Rings work great for this too. Start by doing a set of curls, go directly into extensions, then curls again, and so on, doing as many reps as you can in 10 minutes. The numbers won't be exactly the same. I have found that ring curls are typically a bit easier than ring extensions for most people, but once you can do roughly 100 reps of each in 10 minutes, you can increase the difficulty by changing the positioning of your body in relation to the rings. Like with the face pulls, typically a body positioning that is more parallel with the ground will be harder. Calisthenics Workout B follows the exact same structure as Calisthenics Workout A. The only difference between the two is the circuit. 1. Calisthenics Circuit B for max rounds in 20 to 25 minutes. 2. Face pulls for max reps in 5 minutes. 3. Curls and extensions for max reps in 10 minutes. Calisthenics Circuit B is underhand rows, push-ups, rollouts or hanging leg raises if you don't have an ab wheel, and bent knee pike push-ups completed using a 3-2-1 ladder rep scheme for max rounds in 20 to 25 minutes. The progression here is exactly the same as with Circuit A. Work towards 13 rounds in under 25 minutes, then switch to a 5-3-2 rep scheme, and again work towards 13 rounds in under 25 minutes. After the circuit, the rest of the workout is exactly the same. Face pulls for max reps in 5 minutes, and a superset of curls and extensions for max reps in 10 minutes. And there is the entire program, Sandbag Foundation, Phase 1 and Phase 2. You can run either phase for as long as you'd like. Each one can last a full year if you're enjoying the training and making gains, but if you want a clear path forward, run Phase 1 until you manage to complete 100 box squats in 10 minutes with a 125-pound sandbag, then switch to Phase 2, and run Phase 2 until you manage to complete 100 box squats in 10 minutes with a 150-pound sandbag. Once you manage that, you will, without a doubt, be ready for any of my other programs. You can choose whichever you'd like, though I will say my newest program, Sandbag Berserker, is in many ways the spiritual successor to this one, and the transition to starting it will feel natural after Sandbag Foundation. Both are based on using timed density sets, and they both follow the exact same calisthenics circuit progression. If you liked the box squat aspect of this program in particular, you'll probably like Sandbag Intensity. And if you want something that feels very different and is more focused on developing max power and mastering the sandbag to shoulder, I think you'll enjoy Sandbag Hypertrophy. Each of the programs will get you that fabled usable muscle I talked about earlier. Beyond that, it mostly comes down to personal preference. If you want more information on heavy sandbag lifting and high rep bodyweight calisthenics, consider checking out my books. The Sandbag Berserker book will be out soon, so keep an eye out for that. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.